to bring in a special guest here that has basically had passion, desire, and then the willpower and the courage to go and chase a dream. And it's come from experience. It's come from just the willingness to want to do. And so I think there's too many people out here that they kind of have a dream or they just have a thought and it just gets pushed to the wayside. So in today's episode, what we're going to talk about is just hopefully things that will give you the courage and the confidence to take the step in the right direction that allows you to do the things that make you happy and gives you the confidence to do it. So with that said, Omar, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's great. This is going to be an awesome one because what you've gone through with your journey is just like, to give you a quick backstory on this one.
Okay.
Went to a running group, it was only a few days ago, literally just started going along, you have a conversation and I like to have a bit more of an in-deep conversation. Mm-hmm. And then you start mentioning about what you're an architect and I was like, okay, cool, that's all something different. But then you completely flip the script and then tell me about the scuba diving inside of things and the experiences you're creating in the, it's not a side hustle. Well, it's kind of a side hustle.
You can say it is, yeah.
Yeah, totally. But so let's give people, before we get into that and give them unravel and pull back the curtains to all those kind of secrets and those barriers and the feelings you had to went through, the ups and downs. What is it for you that was, first of all, what is it that you do in a day-to-day and what's encouraged you to get into the space, the scuba diving space? Or when was it that you got encouraged to go into that scuba diving space?
Okay. First of all, if I might introduce myself, I'm Omar.
100%.
I'm an architect. I'm actually a project manager working in construction in Dubai Holding. Mm-hmm. And going to the next thing that you were asking about, that what got me to scuba diving in the first place. Actually, I've loved the sea since I was a child. My dad actually forced me, like most of us, to learn swimming at a very young age.
Just threw in the pool?
Yeah, exactly. Threw me in the pool, threw me in the sea.
Nice.
And I remember one time when we went on one summer trip to Sharm el-Sheikh on the Red Sea, which is an amazing place to snorkel and dive. I've tried snorkeling over there and I was just amazed with the colors and the fish and the visibility. Cool. Like it was just like a different world, like that you just see and it captures you. It captures your imagination.
So cool.
And I used to remember, like, I didn't have any connection with scuba diving at that time and I didn't even know anything about it. But I remember, like, playing on shore, like, and enjoying building my castles and stuff. Seeing these people going out of water, wearing all this gear, looking very cool, everything's black and, masks and tanks and stuff. All of that actually shows, like, what is this? Like, it really just got me curious, but...
Yeah. They say sparks, right? Sparks curiosity as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I was young at that age. I wasn't really tempted to... I didn't know that this is something a child can do even at that time. And days passed, and later on, I had this image back in my head for a while.
Playing over and over again,
Until at some point, I just decided during a vacation I had also in Egypt and in the Red Sea, on the Red Sea in Dahab, to try diving. And actually, I didn't have enough time to either try it or take the full course. And for some reason, I just decided, you know what? I'm going to take the full course. And I just got hooked. Just like that. In 2017, I think that happened, yeah.
They always ask, do you remember your first? And so, of course, the reaction, 100%.
Yeah, it was my first dive and my first and last panic attack ever I had in my life.
Really?
I swear.
Wow.
Yeah, to be honest, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people just find it a bit weird to breathe through their mouth.
Yes.
And you just feel that it's like you're not having enough air. It feels a bit weird. And the noises, because everything sounds amplified, underwater. So it's a little bit weird. Your brain doesn't really comprehend it in the beginning. I finished the first dive with a mini panic attack.
What happened exactly?
I was just like, the first session of the course is funny. Everybody who did the course knows about that. And it's the most annoying skill that they teach you. You go down the water and you're supposed to sit down, breathe, remove your mask, put it on again, and clear it from water. And trust me, it's a very confusing feeling because now you have like your nose in the water and you're breathing through your mouth, and it's a lot of stuff. It's overwhelming. I actually panicked. I couldn't do it.
Okay. How deep did you do this?
No, you do it on
Hey there, if you're finding this episode inspiring, you're finding it useful, applicable, we would love you to be part of the community. There's power in community, there's power in numbers. And by subscribing to the channel that you're watching this on or listening to this on, or sharing it with people that you know that may help benefit them, will only help us find more people within the community to help it grow, to support people to live an active and adventurous lifestyle. So if you don't mind, it would mean a lot if you just push subscribe, push like, and share it with someone that is going to help today.
On in a pool or on shore, like in my own situation, I just did it on shore.
Okay.
It's like 3 meter, 4 meter deep, nothing really that
Yeah.
serious. Yeah. Forced myself, did it, and I was like that night. You know what? Next day I should be more calm. I should be in a more peaceful, mindset. Or
Yeah.
went there, was a better day. Did part of my skills of the course. And by the third day, which I was supposed to finish the course, I was just like in the last dive, I was just hooked.
Wow.
Even the instructor saw me so calm to the limit that I think he was a bit worried. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like,
Is he coming back in? What's going on?
I'm hooked to that.
Yeah.
And funny thing, he was also an engineer who left engineering and went into scuba diving. So somehow I was like,
really?
Yeah, I told him one day maybe I'd
You
be
can
sitting
relate
next
to that
you.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So then on that, because I know so many people that go on through the fact of they got a high pressure job, or they have a very busy 9 to 5 with it. Well, a 9 to 5 that becomes like a 7 to 7 type of thing.
Oh my
You
God,
know
tell
what I
me
mean?
about it. Yeah.
And so like it's great money, but then everyone's like they get to a point where, what am I doing this work for? I've got to break free, and I know it's a big thing for a lot of people. They go like, and they try and find, not try and find, sorry, they have a moment in life where they come across and they go like, I don't want to be stuck doing 7 to 7. Like, why am I working all these hours for if I'm not doing anything with my life? Like there's this eye-opening moment that everybody's having. You're still in the space. I mean, and so now and then. Okay, so go a little bit further forward. Not only did he do the course, he now delivers the courses as well. So explain that journey from. Okay, obviously you had a big passion for it.
Yeah.
But what is it? Why become your master? Why?
Okay. To be honest, it just one thing led to the other. Took the course. As I told you, I really enjoyed being underwater. It's a different world that you're exploring. Nature, but in a different shape. Like we're used to maybe going to a zoo, going to a forest, going to a hike in the mountain. But when you start to explore the other 70% of the planet that you do not really normally see on your
Literally,
daily
it's most of the
basis,
planet, right? It's underwater. Yeah, totally.
70%, and you start to see the creatures that some of them are just like aliens, man. And you start to find majesty into the whole experience. It starts to grow on you. It starts to grow on you bit by bit. So one thing led to the other. I started diving even more, started taking more courses. I completed my dive master in 2021, if I'm right. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
2021. And I was like, you know what? I enjoy this sport so much, and I noticed how much this is something that's not about divers. We talk about diving 24/7. If we're astronaut, it's something that just grows on you, and you
don't get me started.
Yeah, exactly. And you wish to show everyone what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, because you really feel it's really special. You do a connection. You have a connection to the ocean, and when you have an encounter with a specific creature, all of these feelings, get you to really want to show others the ocean, get them to experience that.
Yeah, it's a different experience every time.
Yeah.
As well, right? So I mean,
even in the same place.
Yeah.
Like you can do 100 dives in the same place, and still the ocean will manage to surprise you.
Yeah.
No dive is like the other.
Literally,
Yeah.
What's it like then to be teaching others?
To be honest, I reached the level of dive master. Dive master is allowed to actually guide people in diving. Like if there is a group of divers, you're allowed to guide them through the dive sites, ones you know or even ones you don't. And we have something called a buddy system in diving, where each person should always have a buddy with him underwater, because he's your redundancy if, God forbid, any kind of emergency happens, it's always your body.
Yeah.
But you always need a guide to take you around underwater. Teaching is the next step.
Yep.
But to be honest, for some reason, I didn't feel it for me, at least yet.
Yeah.
God
totally.
knows, maybe I will be doing that later. But for now, the parts that I really felt more passionate about is to see more places, new places, have more experiences. This is what took me in a different direction later on.
Let's get into that. So the flying fish, the side hustle.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, okay?
Yeah.
It's such a unique thing that I'm aged. It's okay, I can say that. But like, I'm confident with that. But like, I've never heard of this concept. So can you explain, first of all, the idea, and then the delivery, or like why you are doing what you're doing now with this?
Okay, first of all, Flying Fish Travel is a travel agency / travel operator, which operates in the UAE. And the company mainly specializes in preparing and executing travel packages and trips to different parts of the world, specialized mainly in diving activities or I would say water sports related also to the sea, to the ocean, to the marine life. The company is a little bit unique because we don't have much of these in the Middle East. We have maybe a couple of trials here and there, but it's a bit of a new concept. It's maybe more popular in places that are further. Maybe there are some in Europe, some in the US, and mainly because these areas are a bit far from the diving countries and diving locations, so it's a bit harder to reach.
Yeah.
Further destinations, countries that nobody knows about. But here in the Middle East, it's still a new concept because the scuba diving itself is still a growing sport.
Yeah.
Though we have a lot of very beautiful places to dive in here in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But it's still a new sport. It's a growing sport. And that was the whole idea behind the company.
The awareness exposure, because like I say, like people don't know, like people here scuba dive, like that's the whole stigma, right? Scuba diving, you put a tank on and you dive down. I mean, in New Zealand, it's very different. Like people go scuba diving to go get food. That's what they,
exactly.
That's what they go to it. But it's more of a leisure, like a scenic or experience type of thing. And that's where I suppose the travel side of it comes in as well. But there's so many, like, let's touch on that because there is so many places that you can go scuba diving here in the UAE, right?
There is a lot in the area. Like there is you can dive in Fujairah. Fujairah has a lot of actually most of the east coast of the UAE has nice places to dive, starting from Deba in the north, going south to Kalba. All of these areas have nice dive sites, and there is even a lot that's getting explored. There is also some other sites in Ras Al Khaimah.
What, because they've been unexplored before, or the?
If you think about it, what's a dive site?
Yeah.
Just to give you a small brief, like a dive site is just it's mainly a place where there is, let's say, a rock formation in the water that gives a chance to coral reef to attach to something and grow, helped with ocean currents that brings maybe plankton and small stuff for the small fish to eat. Smaller creature start to come to the place, bigger creatures follow, and then you have a full ecosystem.
There you go, Brian.
So there is no specific location where you can find a dive site. Still, till date, a lot of dive sites are being explored everywhere in the world, not only in
it's more like a preference type thing more than anything else. Like you like going to this spot. This is your favorite spot type of thing. That how people become how it becomes how does it become a popular dive spot for that way? Is it because it's more unique, the reef's more unique, the ground's more unique, the rock, the creatures, the fish? Like example, so it's easy. Here's an easy example: the Great Barrier Reef. That's just massive corals, got beautiful fish. There's so many different fish. Blah, 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 blah. So that's why people go, type of thing.
Exactly.
That's a spot because but like, and Egypt's got these beautiful spots as well. There's these main spots. What is it for you? What do you look for when you do this? About a travel agency, now with Flying Fish, you're taking people on experiences at other places as well. What is an experience? How would you describe the experiences that you most enjoy?
Okay, that's a very hard question to ask.
Mm.
It's like asking a chef which food is your favorite. You know, like
Yeah, true. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But this and this and this and this.
yeah,
and this and
exactly.
this.
It's a bit hard.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there are different kind of divers that who are out there that actually have different interests underwater. So you have the divers that prefers the experience of diving itself. You know, the gear, the stuff they are wearing, the technicalities of diving, and these people might have a preference that's maybe a challenging dive site, a deep dive site. You always find this guy everywhere in the dive center who wants to go the deep dive site or the deepest he can go, obviously within the limits.
Mm-hmm.
You have others that prefer maybe the marine life, big marine life, sharks, you know,
creatures.
like pelagic fish,
Mm-hmm.
whales.
Yeah.
Depends on the kind of the creature that you like. There are others that are more into coral reef. It's a more relaxed kind of dive, more shallow even because you'll have the sun giving you better light and to see the real colors underwater.
Yeah.
There are people who love the tiniest creatures that are magical actually. And they're mostly photographers.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Underwater
Underwater
photography, the
cameras.
big thing. Yeah.
Totally.
I would put myself into the category who love corals or big creatures. I'm more into this area.
I'll definitely be a creatures person. I'll be on.
Yeah.
Coral reef, like fish, yeah. I'm totally.
It depends, like, you know, you like animals or you like plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's something like
I'm
that.
an animal
yeah.
lover. There you go.
Yeah.
I love animal. So then, what was it with the flying fish? The experiences. What was it you're looking into? What you want to create? What opportunities you look for people?
Okay. Originally, as I told you, most divers like to start to be like advocates for the ocean because we feel that there is not enough advocates for the ocean because there's not enough people who really understand the oceans like divers do. Maybe scientists, maybe fishermen, but divers have a different perspective.
Yeah.
So we always try to advocate for creatures, for how we pollute our oceans. We try to fight that, how we need to take care of our creatures like we try to do for the creatures on land or the animals on land. So the whole idea came from the fact that I love to show people the ocean, show them the magic that they can see over there, the experience that they can do over there, how remote you can go, the places that you can see. And the beautiful thing about diving is that it's always accompanied by land adventure.
Yeah.
Because we really travel to uncharted places sometimes just for a dive. We really go into very, very remote places that normally a tourist won't go to. So this on its own is actually an experience.
That's
This on
cool,
its own is
yeah.
actually very cool.
So unique. I would say.
Yeah. It's just like
Man.
sometimes you reach places and you ask yourself, how did I get here?
Yeah.
So the whole idea with Flying Fish started by the fact that I actually wanted to show people the ocean. And it started by the fact that always when it's me with my group of friends who are divers, I started to be the one who plans our trips.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Here's
you
a
know,
familiar story coming out.
Yeah.
How'd you get into it? Well,
Exactly.
I'm already doing it. I might as well get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is something like that, to be
Because
honest.
it supplements your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like it's like I love to do this, and other people want to come and join me. So cool. It's like
It's exactly like the way you put it. Just one thing led to the other. I like the idea of traveling.
yeah,
I like showing people
that's
diving.
awesome.
I enjoy planning actually. You know, the engineering part and the planning part really.
Oh,
kicks
really
in.
into that?
it
Okay,
really,
well, there you
it
go.
really kicks in, and I just like it. I even enjoy meeting new people, like the people who join me for the trips, or even the operators I'll go deal with, and even the cultures that I'll experience. And then it went afterwards to maybe, you know what? Why don't I plan trips just for the diving community to join me? Then just one thing led to the other until I eventually realized, like, you know what? Why don't I turn it into a company?
Yeah.
Even for my own enjoyment.
Yeah,
And
totally.
just it kept getting bigger. You know, it's like a snowball that just keeps getting bigger. And
One
bigger
person
and
hears,
bigger.
next person hears. And it's such a good place to be in it as well. Because the other side of it too is that, because one of the unique things you were sharing with me before, and you can share, or I'd love to share this now, is that, you know, it's like, so if I haven't scuba dived before, you know, you can learn it here in the UAE. But
Yeah, of
like,
course.
as part of an urgency, like you've planned trips for people to go away and learn it elsewhere
Yes.
and have a different experience
Yes.
as someone out. And that, I think that's amazing. Like that's so cool. It gives you not just you're going to learn a new skill, but you're going to experience a new place
Yes, true.
as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, in Flying Fish Travel, for now, we provide different services. One of them is group trips, and these are mainly big trips that are open for everyone with a minimum certification, of course, for each trip, depending on the trip type. And we also offer something which is maybe private trips or trips that you can go with your family, with your friends, stuff like that. And lately I thought, like, you know what? Okay, I'm interested in showing people the ocean. There are a lot of people who do not dive. Why don't we actually open up kind of trips where we introduce people to diving? Maybe we can plan you a trip somewhere, you know, because I always wear two hats. I'm a travel agent and I'm a diver as well.
Yeah.
So
Start with the one, the travel agent,
yeah.
the diver on afterwards. Yeah.
One or the other, like you never know. Like maybe one of them will start the idea and the other will take over.
Yeah.
So like I was like, you know what? If people are interested in trying diving, why not plan maybe some trips to
That's
locations?
what you love too. So
Yeah,
how good's
yeah.
that? That's so good.
People will go, enjoy their time, try dive, or even take the course if they're already decided, and enjoy new locations, visit an interesting place. Like you know, you get a lot of things into one package. You can get a package that suits you. Maybe you want to learn diving, but you are not sure how to do it. Maybe you want to do it during a trip. Maybe you want to do it in a place that gives you more chances to explore different creatures. Maybe you want to use your vacation instead for diving only or learning diving only to actually learn diving and enjoy somewhere else. Maybe you want to take your family too with you.
Maybe.
There is a lot. Like
Yeah.
so, why don't I make it customizable?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
100%.
This is the whole idea.
Where would you then? I know this again is going to be a tough question because where would you recommend people start?
Ooh. Okay, I can give you some standards. I'm not gonna. Obviously, I have a preferred location,
Yeah,
which is like
totally.
the Red Sea, my home base.
Yeah.
But even within the Red Sea, where or anywhere else, where exactly? This is the question. I would say there are two factors mainly that you need to consider here. First one is to try and find a trusted operator, either through recommendations from your diver friends, or maybe plus, not only reading reviews.
Okay. Yeah.
You can check reviews on Google Maps.
Reviews
You
are
can
huge.
check
These are
reviews on
huge, yeah.
TripAdvisor. Try as much as possible to read a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
It like, you know, people share their ideas, people share their
Totally.
opinions,
Yeah.
and try to find a place like that. Other than that, also try to find a place that gives you easy access. Since you are not a hardcore diver yet, so you don't need to travel half the earth like to learn diving.
Because that's the thing too. When you're traveling away, and let's say I'll give the specific to the point of you want to learn scuba diving. You're a newbie. You want to learn. Fine. You've gone through the reviews. You found an operator. Great. I don't think that's the only scare factor out there for people or hesitance behind it. One is the other side is traveling to a new space.
Okay.
Like you must come across this a lot with people who are like, you know. People have the thing of going to Thailand and they're like, oh, but I don't know anybody. I mean, so obviously it's nicer to go as a group, but I mean, what are some things that people can do to give them a little more confidence? Like say they've never been to the Red Sea, I've never been to Egypt, I don't actually know anybody. You know, that person that, but I want to learn scuba diving, but then I'm at a point where, great, I'm by myself though. You know what I mean? I've gone through that process and now I'm just like, what can I do that's going to make the experience better?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. You know,
Actually,
so,
yeah.
just curious. It's like,
that's a
is
good
there an
question.
answer to that one, or is it just?
Yeah, you can do. There's some homework that you can do that at least will be enough for you to get the best experience you can. First of all, as you said, after doing the reviews and knowing that at least you're going to a reputable place where people have good comments on, you need to first of all. The diving community is fun. This is one of the best things about the diving community. Everybody knows that this is a sport that nobody is forced to do it. It's actually something that you love doing, and there is a lot that you go through in diving, like training and courses, and it requires a lot of like dedication to keep on doing it. So most people who do it really enjoy it and are really in a good mood while doing it. So dive centers are fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun sport. So first of all, do not feel hesitant when you go, and do not really be scared about the people's reactions and how can you deal with them. What should you do? Don't stress out. Diving is a very cool sport, and most of the people who do it are really cool and chill and like you're living by the ocean every day, watching other creatures. It really has an impact on you. So you don't need to be hesitant.
Well, how much of a trip would be based on scuba diving and the other part? Because it just seems like for me, for a scuba diving experience, there's only so much time you're going to spend in the water. The majority of time in my mind, please correct me if I'm wrong, is actually spent more the dinners, the socials, the boat.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, how long? Like 2 hours in the water? I mean, like an hour and a half in the water, an hour in the water, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
You've exactly hit the spot. Actually, that's true. It's a very social sport because you're only under the water. Let's say an average duration for a dive is like, let's say 50 minutes. But the day where you go diving, it's, let's say, excluding the drive, 5 hours.
Yeah.
1 hour to prepare your things at the dive center. Then you go on the boat, then do the first dive. You have a break, second dive, return. That's only if you're doing 2.
Yeah.
Not 3 or 4. So yeah, you're right. Like most of the time, you're actually socializing with the people, and that's why the diving is a community sport. Like you always start to get into community. You start getting to know people. I even know my wife through scuba diving. So yeah.
What would be then? So from you, even like the people that love scuba diving, and then can you ever run out of spaces to go? Like I don't think you can, but I mean, from your perspective, like you say you do the 100 dives in the same place, and it's always a different experience, which is 100%. Like I agree with that, but like the longevity of scuba diving, you know what I mean? I mean, it is much more a social side of things, right? So it's again, that's why I'm kind of like leaning away from the whole it's scuba diving. Well, yeah, scuba diving there's a I think that's more like the cherry on top of the experience, I should say. When based on, we're talking about travel, we're talking about going away a place and stuff like that. Just more like, how much, like, what do you organize around the trips that are not to do with scuba diving? What do you have to organize?
It differs from one trip to the other. I personally, when I try to plan my trip schedule for the year, I know that people have different interests. I know that people will have different like preferences to how their vacation should be. Some people are hardcore divers. Some people are like, okay, we want a bit of this, we want a bit of that. Some people are like more of like, I'm gonna go there, go do a couple of dives, but I mean, you want to explore land as well. So I try to balance out between the different trips. You cannot do one trip that it's like one. You cannot do one size fits all, but you can do different trips. So each one will get its own joiners. So let's say some trips we do something called a liveaboard. This is for hardcore divers mainly. We go on a luxurious yacht. It's like a huge one, like it's like 50 meters long, 4 floors. It's like an hotel. It's an hotel. You live on for like a week. And you do 3 to 4 dives every day.
Oh,
that's one kind. Other trips, like one of the locations that we go to is Mauritius.
Okay, nice.
It's a trip that is actually liked by a lot of people, and we are even doing it a 3rd time this year. We've done it the last
3rd time
years.
already in 2025.
No, 3rd time, since 3rd consecutive year.
Okay, awesome, man.
Mauritius is an amazing country. So in this trip, there's no scuba diving. Scuba diving is optional, but we are going mainly to watch sperm whales.
Okay,
which is a very rare creature.
Wow, yeah.
And they are residents of Mauritius. They live there in front of the shore.
That's super cool.
Not migrating like all the other creatures.
Yeah.
Or all the other whales. And in that trip, we put hiking as an option. We put also, like, I always prefer in the last day of any trip to have like a fun part, like a tour, a boat trip, depend on the trip, but I always like to have something social, because normally people go back from these trips as friends.
Yeah, totally.
And this is the amazing
connect to
part.
small space. So 100%. then what can people do to prepare better then? Like, is there something like to make the trip more enjoyable? Because, like, let's say, for example, if it's how do you improve your skills as a scuba diver? You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
is it lung capacity? Is it being able to relax? Is it breathing? Is it fitness? Is it nutrition? I don't know.
Okay,
Is there something like that?
In scuba diving, you mainly need to dive more. Mainly need to dive more. And when you're diving, you try to get away from the stuff that can affect your health. Like, let's say you're not allowed to drink before diving. You should get good sleep. Should be well hydrated. All of these stuff that are related to your health. Not push yourself, of course, if you're not feeling well to dive. This is something that we learn in the course. But mainly to get better in diving, you just need to dive more.
You had a panic attack yourself in the first one, right? So mentally preparing or physically preparing so that you can handle some kind of pressures. It was any tips that you'd give to someone or you give to someone?
There is nothing really I can say that really will make a huge difference. Mentally, this is you can never prepare for something that you never experienced before.
Yeah.
Some like I've went and supported as part of my dive master with try diving, which is the intro to diving.
Okay.
And I've seen people that just went into the water and they are a natural.
Yeah.
And some people like me, they're just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So there is not really something that you can really mentally prepare for. Just follow the process. You know what? Have one idea in mind. You know, there's a million people that did the sport before you. And scuba diving is actually for everyone.
Yeah.
Except people with, God forbid, bad disease. But like even for a handicapped, scuba diving is open for all. So there is nothing that's going to be wrong with you.
Yeah.
Just try to calm down and enjoy the moment and let the instructor do his job.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Later on, when you do the course, when you maybe start diving more, just maybe try to have your eye open to learn from others. Have maybe watch a lot of the podcasts that talk about diving. There's a lot out there. No, there's a lot that you can do, but like any other sport, nothing specific that can really get you to, scuba diving is not a competitive sport.
Yeah.
This is a good thing about it. Like, so it's just like, it's like walking in outer space or maybe just...
It's for leisure, right? That's the whole point of it. It's
maybe even
entertainment.
Teaching a kid how to walk.
Yeah.
A child, like... You don't really do much. You just let them experience it, and they'll just get better.
Totally. Yes, 100%. I see you totally mean there. And then when it comes to like, do you recommend when it comes to diving, take your own gear, rent gear?
Differs.
Take your own wetsuit, not wetsuit. Or...
Wetsuits depend on the water temperature. So, yeah, it's smart to actually follow what the dive center will recommend. There's obviously a small difference. Some of us feel warmer, some of us feel colder, but like follow the dive center's
and that
recommendation, or you will get cold or hot. So just follow. For the gear, I obviously prefer to have my own gear. Maybe the only thing I would be recommending people to do when they're buying gear is to take a lot of advice because scuba diving gear stays for long. It's not something that you buy and just change every once in a while.
Yeah.
So just do your proper research and get gear that suits your kind of diving.
Which gear would you recommend just for face of leisure? Or what's the first thing you buy as far as gear?
Okay, in my own opinion, diving mask, first thing. Yeah. Fins and boots. And dive computer. That's how I will sequence it, actually.
Dive computer?
Yeah.
What's a dive computer?
It's something like a watch.
Okay,
and actually smart watches, even some of them do that now, that actually calculates your dive time and some limits on time and some limits related to, like depth. It gives you information during your dive by reading the water pressure. So it knows your depths, and based on the depths, it tells you how long can you stay underwater, because there is a limit where to the duration that you can stay underwater related to the depths.
Yeah.
So these are the dive computers. It's a very important piece of equipment, and it wasn't there in the beginning of diving,
Yeah,
and a lot of people
totally.
suffered without it. So
Geez, a lot of learning taking place.
yeah.
Evolution of the sport, development of it.
Yeah, diving is a recent, like I would say, started getting more popular and commercial maybe late 80s, 90s. It's
Man, so that
relatively
recent. Wow,
yeah.
geez. Because that's the thing, right? Like, so if you are new or you are experienced, and then you go into this and you're like, okay, then what gear should I take? What's worth taking? And what can I just rent over there? But you talk about fins and boots and mask. You know, mask I think would be more. Is it more essential considering that everyone's different face? Like for me, I would prefer to take my own mask when you say it because like this one sits on my face better than other ones.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
On point. That's exactly how we describe it. Because it doesn't matter how expensive it is, how cool it is, what color it is. Just have something that as long as it fits.
Yeah, then because like that's like with fins. See with fins though, I'd be like, I can borrow fins from somewhere else. I don't find them as an essential necessity. I wouldn't consider it, put it that way, but maybe it is in your opinion.
It's not essential, but if you are willing to be comfortably diving, it's always better to have proper strong fins in your legs.
Yeah.
So if you face some current, you don't get exhausted.
Yeah.
And it will be much easier. It will be your size. It will not slip out of your leg. You know, like it's much more comfortable to have your fins. And computer is also a very important piece of gear. And I'm not putting it first just for one reason, is that to give you some time just to make sure that diving is something that you're going to keep on doing. So you're willing to invest a big investment in a good computer. That's why. But it's a very important piece of gear.
When you say good investment, how much is a good investment?
It can be anywhere between 1,000 to 5,000 dirhams, I would say.
Okay.
But a good computer would be in the range of 3,000 to 5,000 dirhams.
Okay, well,
So
it's an investment. Man.
But it can stay with you for years.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's built to last.
Yeah, exactly.
Type of thing. Yeah. So then, I want to go about back to the destination side of things and with the travel side of things, because it's that getting over that. You've been through. You've gone through. There was a passion. You've got a desire to go and explore places. I mean, you got your favorites, the Red Sea's home. So for you as well. What is it with people that? What are you finding with people that when they want to travel, they don't want to travel. They do want to travel, like because this is a new like with the travel agency for yourself.
Okay.
Like obviously people that I want to travel, but do you do anything like to? When you talk with groups, like the encouragement of travel, like for me, for example, I'll give you a better example or a better base on this, is that when we were down the running group and people were talking about trekking, and they're just talking about trekking, they weren't talking about going anywhere. There was no invitations or anything like that. But for me, that sparks my intrigue that, I want to go do that. I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm just one of those people that drop it and go, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other people out there like, oh no, I got work, I got family, I got da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and they make every excuse under the sun.
Yes.
Who are you finding that's the ones that are kind of taking that leap? What kind of people? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you. Most of the people who join us actually are people, first of all, who prefer to travel with a group.
Okay, yeah.
Because some people do not really prefer to be with a group. They love to have their own thing. But it's mainly people who want to be part of a community. These are the kind of people who join. Second of all, people who prefer to travel with flying fish mainly are traveling due to the kind of trips we are planning.
Okay. Based on destination or the itinerary?
It's not one or the other. It's actually how hard it is, the destination we're going to. I'll tell you. For instance, you're a person who likes trekking. And you want to do Everest maybe, base camp or something, you would feel that you want to go with a group from the UAE if you live in the UAE.
Okay, yeah, comfort.
There is a bit of trust and there is a bit of you will relate.
Yeah,
you will relate. You will have the same maybe challenges. You'll have the same interests.
Yeah,
you feel that you all come from the same background. So you know what to expect from each other. Yes, you will travel, but somehow you'll be traveling with people that are all familiar to each other in a way, just because of we live in, like living in the same community or in the same city. So I feel that people who join us for these two reasons. First, of being with a community that they are familiar with and somebody that somehow they trust. And also because of sometimes we do destinations that are hard to do on your own.
Yeah, totally.
It's always, first of all, it's a bit far. It's a bit unknown or new, or maybe requires groups because it financially makes a huge difference if you go with a group.
Budget first, yeah.
Yeah, especially in diving.
Yeah.
So the trip can maybe reduce in 50-60% of the price. And to be honest, a lot of people also join us because the footage that we take looks cool. Like the people actually look
for the gram,
genuinely
man,
enjoyment. Yeah.
For the TikTok or for the top. I'm not one of those cool
Yeah,
kids,
people will like if it looks like these people are actually seeing the creatures that are being like promised in a way. Like obviously you can never promise 100% because the ocean might be more generous someday than the others.
Totally.
But like we try to, as much as possible, get you to what we promised you. So these three factors mainly are what drives people to join our trips. These are mainly the reason.
Out there.
Yeah.
People have to get out into it. What are those? Is we've actually gone with nearly an hour. Jeez, my God. So we have to wrap this one up. But what is the biggest advice that you'd be giving to people based on like what you're doing with Flying Fish, and to get more people to just take that leap?
Okay, that's a big question.
It's a big question. It's kind of a loaded question, but like it's something that people like. Yeah, I mean, information's cool, but from your opinion, like, so you're seeing people do this. Some people do it through breakups or divorces or just some lost their job or something like that. Just go like, oh my God, I'm just gonna get out of here, freedom and stuff like that. Because
to be honest, I have something that I personally try to always work by. Just go get new experiences.
Yeah,
I always try that. Like we always see people that we admire what they're doing. We sometimes even get a bit inspired, but sometimes we have this gap that like, is this for me? Is it easy? Should I do it? I'm into like the idea of like, you know what? Go get the experience yourself. There's a big chance you'll hate it, but it's fine. This friction will at least get you to know like, okay, this is one thing that's actually not for me. I'm gonna go do something else.
Different, yeah.
And eventually you'll just end up with one or multiple things that you will like or will be actually part of your life, or maybe you will realize that one of them is what you're destined for.
Totally.
So I'm always into the idea of like, you know what, exposure. Go out, like try different stuff, try stuff that are, you know, like the word that everybody uses commercially, out of your comfort zone.
Like cliche.
It's a cliche, but actually, you know what? Yeah, just do it. Maybe you'll not like it, maybe you'll not enjoy it, but it's okay. You'll find you'll find something later that's gonna be enjoyable.
It's
it's as simple as that, yeah.
But it is so simple, and people like, but they prejudge before they do, right? And that's what the thing lets people down the most, is they like stop assuming and just find out.
We have a lot of pre-packed, frozen ideas that we just get out of the freezer, like whenever we have like just to have an opinion. Though like I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about what I like just by trying stuff, not by just sitting there and watching. It builds character.
Trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Mate, look down the camera then. Let them know where they can find you and where they can ask you questions.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram. I'm active on Instagram. And also on the page for Flying Fish Travel. You will find it on Instagram. Just this is the handle for the profile. I'm the one also answering that. And within the profile, you can find the link tree. We have the WhatsApp for Flying Fish Travel. I'm the one who's managing the most of the like answering.
You love organizing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever you want to ask about, like related to traveling, related to diving, I just love what I do. So
Sharing passions. I love it, mate. It's brilliant. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing it.
Thank
An
you.
absolute
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
Totally. It is one of those things you got to do, guys. You got to trial. You have to get out there. You can't presume anything because you'll never know until you do. That does sound like a repeated motivational TikTok or reel or something like that, but it's just the honest truth. And until we as people accept that fact that you'll never know until you experience it for yourself, you will never know until you experience it for yourself. So get out there, give it a go. Leave comments down in the comment section. Let us know any questions or thoughts, or just simply what you'd love to do, or sharing stories from your side of it, because it's always about learning, it's about understanding, it's about growing, it's about creating greater awareness. So until next time, until next episode, thank you.
Thank you.